For my tournament contribution, I tried to build a physically accurate claw machine in NVIDIA Isaac Sim, and this is how I did it. First, I wanted to make sure the claw movement actually worked, so I started with a rough prototype made out of cubes. I was pretty surprised it worked so well. Once I saw that the claw mechanics could actually be simulated in Isaac Sim, I modeled a more realistic claw in Fusion 360, imported it back, and set it up with rigid bodies and joints. Here's how a claw works. There's a shaft in the middle that gets pulled up by a solenoid. The fingers are attached to the shaft, and when it moves up, the claw closes. So the voltage of the solenoid controls how strong it grips. So the claw can close, but if the voltage is too low, heavy objects just slip out. That's why in real arcade machines you sometimes feel like the claw could grab the object, but it just doesn't hold. I simulated this behavior with the stiffness of the joint drive. Okay, so that's the claw. Next, the rope. I tested a few approaches for the rope. My first approach was based on the point instancer, which is really good on performance, but I couldn't manage to attach it to the prim-based claw. So I used the same approach, but instead of using point instancer, I went with prim-based. For retracting the rope, at first I thought about dragging it through a small hole like a torus, but then I switched to a winch-based system, and that worked way better. The rope curls around the winch and it retracts smoothly. Then I combined claw and rope and winch together, and to control them I thought about using a physically accurate joystick and a button. So the joystick has joints and restoring forces, so it snaps back upright when you let go. So like in a real claw machine, you would use the joystick to drive above the toy or object you would like to grab, and then you hit the button. And once you hit the button, the claw will descend, close, hopefully grab an object, and then ascend again, move back to the home position and open the claw and let the object fall. Finally, I combined everything and added some of the Revel assets into the machine, so it actually feels like a real arcade. And yeah, one of the hardest parts was actually capturing the claw grabbing something successfully. It's not easy, but not impossible either. And in this clip, it finally happened. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my claw machine. Huge thanks to LycheeAI, Revel and NVIDIA for running such a fun event. I wish I had more time to bring all my ideas to life, but there's always next time.